होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा ही है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा, ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रैंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रैंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all the dear friends and families, those who have spared time today for this particular webinar. I, Archana Sharma, along with the entire team of Franchise India, welcomes each one of you to our Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series. This is the digital representation of the business opportunity which we have got for you so that you digitally interact with the brand director, CEO, and understand their business as well as financial model they are offering in market for each one of you. Franchise India is there to help each and every investor in getting the right business solutions from our side so that you can take a conscious and a perfect decision of selecting the best franchise for yourself. This is our 396th business opportunity which we have got for you. It is our privilege to invite management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. This particular webinar is hosted by both of them, and they'll be talking about the industry, sharing their insights, as well as will take all your queries. So we request each one of you to use question and answer box to share your viewpoint, suggestion, as well as query. The business model, the business opportunity which we have got for you is Dr. Bhatia's Medical Coaching Institute, the brand which comes from a vertical of education. It's #1 medical coaching institute in India. It started their journey in 1996 as a one center for PG entrance exam, and today they have a strong presence in market with 150 plus centers spread in every corner of India. And it is our privilege to invite Mr. Nachiket Bhatia, who is the CEO, to talk about this brand. We are also joined by our senior consultant, Mr. Anshul, who will take us through the entire presentation. But before I invite Mr. Anshul, I would like to invite Mr. Bhatia to talk about his journey. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhatia, for sparing time from your busy schedule, joining us for this particular webinar. So over to you. We are ready to understand your journey, sir. Over to you.
So thank you, Archana, for the kind words, and welcome to all the people who are watching this video. So I'm Dr. Nachiket Bhatia. I'm the CEO of the company, and we have just completed 25 years on 26th of May 2021, and we are India's oldest PG medical coaching. So our main competency is that to the doctors who are preparing for you must have heard the NEET PG examination. So we prepare doctors for that particular examination. So the market that we normally cater to is almost 5 lakh in India. So we have been producing some tremendous results for the last 20 years now. Even if I talk about the current AIIMS examination, that is the exam that you need to clear for the AIIMS and AIIMS, PGI, JIPMER, the big institutes, central institutes. We have procured 8 rankers amongst the top 10. Now, building upon that, we have launched two new features that is our EdTech division. One is called eGurukul and second is called DBMCI Live. So for the last 2 years, since the centers were not there, we have been teaching the students through DBMCI Live, thus maintaining the integrity of each center. And none of our centers have been even in a single rupee loss during the whole pandemic of 2 years. None of our centers, and everybody has made a very decent profit. So we give our centers the whole security regarding the edtech sector as well. That if a sale of eGurukul goes through that center has its own share of profit with or without even a single bit of interference. So we have a very rigid financial system where we have a monthly reimbursement system, so that none of the centers are ever cash free. They're always cash rich, and thus the whole working system has been very academically proficient. And I believe that together we have managed to secure 10 rankers, 8 to 10 rankers in every major examination, thus maintaining the trust and the legacy. So that's me, Nachiket Bhatia. I hope to see you on DBMCI team very, very soon.
So thank you so much, sir, for that.
I think we've lost your network.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So should we start with the presentation?
Yes.
Anshul, may we request you to have a presentation from your side?
Archana, would you not be able to share your screen and load the presentation?
Just give me 1 minute. I'll just open
Yes,
it.
please. Sure, thank you very much. So, friends, good afternoon. Thank you, Nachiket sir, for a good introduction to the brand. A company that started in 1996, already completed 25 years, as Nachiket mentioned. One of the oldest and one of the largest players in medical PG coaching, which means post-graduation medical entrance exams, focused on NEET and EET, right? In terms of the presence, company has 150 plus centers in a mix of face-to-face centers and satellite centers. So we'll talk about the complete details about the company in the next few slides. And then we also look at in this presentation what is the PG medical coaching industry looks like in terms of number of students who appear for the exams and what are the cities, what are the plans, right? We also will talk about how you can join the company as a franchisee. So to begin with, as I said, one of the oldest and the largest companies in this category started in 1996. And today, as Nachiket sir also mentioned, one of the very progressive companies also in terms of bringing edtech to PG Medical through their eGurukul programs, mobile apps, and many other things. Yeah, so we can go to the next, please. Right. So DBMCI caters to the medical graduate students preparing for PG entrance exams. As you can see on this slide, this talks about the complete education spectrum, right from a preschool to post-education life also. So very specifically, the company focuses on postgraduate students, students preparing for postgraduate medical field, right? So that's where we're very focused. On to the next, please. Yes. So in terms of corporate ethos, mission and vision of the company, the company specifically formed to create an excellent competitive environment. Since 1996, the mission has been to guide medical students, to get the best resources and also get into the top colleges of their choice. So that's been the mission. On the vision side, companies also plans to emerge as a preeminent medical institute that aims to work with the holistic enhancements of students, right? So that's been the case. Very well established in their presence in terms of number of students we've been able to cater to. Right. On to the next, please. Yes. So started in 1996, pioneers in this PG medical coaching space. And next few slides we'll also talk about how the company is placed in the market. Multiple formats today. Not only a face-to-face center where students can come in, take a face-to-face lecture with the trainer, have their doubts and everything. We also have done satellite centers, which is a VC, video conference-based training, and then of course companies ventured into EdTech, which is eGurukul mobile app and online programs. 150 centers across India, one of the largest players in terms of the center presence. Of course, this is a mix of both the formats, and you will see in the next few slides that satellite centers are about 100 plus, and face-to-face centers about 40 plus centers today that company is operating. Right. So on to the next, please. Yes, so 3 centers, 3 formats that we have. Face-to-face centers, personalized attention and aim to developing a conceptual knowledge. Then satellite centers. So in face-to-face centers, the center is small in terms of how this is structured is there's an office space, and then we take auditoriums on rental basis the number of classes we do in the month. So from a center requirement point of view, you would do 1,000 square feet center. Plus additionally, we take auditorium space for running the classes, right? For satellite centers, we typically do a 3,000 square feet center where the students come in and have the classes there itself. eGurukul, this is an online pre-recorded classes by our senior, very experienced faculties who have spent long term with the company. They understand our culture, the way the curriculum that we want to run, and our schedules, right? So pre-recorded lectures sessions, which is available online for our students to access and continue to do their training even during this pandemic season. Next, please. Right. So this is a very important slide, and here we want to talk about the market mapping with competition presence. As I said, DBMCI is one of the largest players in India today with 150 plus centers, and also offers the best content in the market. Right. So if you see the best mock test series for PG preparation, DBMCI leads that list. And in terms of our presence and content, companies placed in the top segment in this category. So very exciting opportunity for our investors in this case. One of the leading companies, very progressive in their content in the approach to coaching, and also one of the largest players in this category. So you can definitely bank upon their experience and expertise in this field. And already running 150 plus centers, top content in the market, and vastly experienced faculty that brings in the advantage to your students also. Next, please. So then we come to our second section of the presentation, where we talk about how PG medical market looks like today. And if you see last 6-7 years since 2014, this PG medical has undergone tremendous transition, both in terms of number of seats being raised. The MBBS from a 54,000, it is now 84,000 seats in India. Similarly, PG seats increased from 30,000 to 54,000 in 2020. And during the same period, 179 new medical colleges added. So why these numbers are important? It gives you an understanding in terms of what is the number of seats available where your students can be placed, right? So on the next slide, we'll talk about what is NEET PG, one of the foremost exams for PG medical entrance. So NEET PG 2020, 1.67 lakh students appeared. So that's ideally the market we're looking at. 1.67 lakhs, 1,67,000 students appeared for this exam last year, and 89,500 students got selected. So that's the market we're looking at. 167, and this number continues to grow every year, with new colleges being added, seats being enhanced. So this number is not a stagnant number. 167, it's going to grow and become a 2 lakh, 2.53 lakhs over next 3 to 5 years period. Right? More and more students would access, would want to go through NEET to get into PG medical streams, right? In terms of, so this test is conducted across 169 cities and 562 centers. So those are the centers, so it also gives us an understanding. 169 cities, this test is conducted. 569 centers, 562 centers, this is conducted. So this also gives us an understanding in terms of what is the potential in terms of setting up a center. So this presents a pan-India opportunity to be able to source students, train them, and bring them for this exam. And that's what we have spoken about in the next couple of slides. Next, please. At the same time, we also see there is a strong demand in this market for doctors to get into PG courses, but there's lack of quality service providers. As you saw on my market map slide, also there are hardly about 5-6 companies in this category who are active in PG medical coaching business, right? And given the strength that DBMCI holds today, with their presence, experience, content, and everything, so this becomes a very exciting opportunity for our investors to connect with DBMCI as franchise partners. Over to next, please. Yes, so this slide, we've tried to map out the number of students appearing from each city, which is 1.67 lakh students appeared and 89,000 selected, right? So this is a mapping of all 167,000 students, mapping with where companies present today, right? And if you see the tick marks, this indicates the markets where we see a strong potential to bring in more centers. And, so we definitely see an opportunity to grow from 150 centers today to over, doubling this number to get to 300 centers over next 3 to 5 years period. There's a definite scope, and a company is well placed to get to that number. All right. So strong value proposition for company today. As I've been saying, a good 25 years of experience, very strong faculty that we have, and then multi-dimensional solutions consisting of foundation, regular, satellite, and postal programs, strong content, and then we of course have tech-driven coaching approach also that we have brought in through eGurukul and online programs as well. Right. Okay. On the next, please. So, we have understood, friends, we have understood how DBMCI is placed as a top company in this category. We also understood in the previous section in terms of what is the opportunity with 167,000 students appearing and some 90,000 getting selected for the PG courses. The number continues to grow. We spoke about, that there is a strong demand, but lack of quality service providers. So that's where we believe DBMCI comes in perfectly to cater to that demand, right? So this section we talk about how you can join this company, right? So we're looking at FOFO franchise owned, franchise operated franchise partners, and we're offering two formats here. One is our F2F center, face-to-face center. As I said, this is a 1,000 square feet facility at an investment of about 25 lakhs. And then we have a second model, which is satellite center, which is a 3,000 square feet facility, which comes in at about 20 lakh rupees investment, right? For face-to-face model, I would like to highlight here that you may have to keep an additional buffer of about 25 lakh rupees as a working capital towards faculty fee, which is a very, very important component in this business. So when you're looking at a face-to-face center, you should ideally look at an investment budget of around 50 lakhs, which means 25 lakhs would go in towards setting up the center plus the franchise fee. Additionally, you should have a separate budget of 25 lakh rupees or so to pay the faculty in year one, right? And that's a working capital provision. It does not mean that you would need to invest that money in the business. It's just a working capital provision. So first few months where the enrollment is a little bit low, you may have to invest that money to take care of the faculty part. Right. So two formats: face-to-face and satellite. Investment starting at 20 lakh rupees. We'll talk about the ROIs in the next few slides. Yes, please. Okay. So two formats we have. A satellite center, the average annual fee is 45,000, inclusive of GST. And at a 132 students enrollment, this gives you a 50 lakh rupee annual revenue, right? And that is excluding GST part. So 50 lakh rupees annual revenue, some of the expenses will be royalty 40%. There's a marketing fee 5% and 2.5%. Rent, of course, staff salaries, utilities. So overall, on a revenue of 50 lakhs, you should be looking at a 39 to 40 lakh rupee outflow in the year, which means at an investment of 20 lakh rupees, you're looking at under 2 years a break even for this format, right? Again, I'll say a 45,000 rupee annual fee, enrollment of between 130 to 150 students in the year, which gives you 150 lakh rupees revenue and a 10 lakh rupee annual profit, right? That means we're looking at under 2 years break even in this format, right? The second model we have is face-to-face center. Now here the annual fee is 85,000, and we're looking at an enrollment of about 200 students, which gives you an annual revenue of 1.5 crores. Right. Again, that is excluding GST. So 72,000 would be the net of GST value, and it converts to 1.5 crores annual fee. Right. Some of the cost heads would be again royalty 22.5%. There is a faculty cost of 22.5. Right. We've not included faculty cost in satellite center because satellite center is all online program, and the faculty is centrally managed. In this face-to-face center, faculty is a very, very important component, and we put 22.5% towards faculty. Apart from that, we also do 11,000 rupee study material to students, which is a cost to us. And then you have rent, staff salaries, utilities, and all. So overall, at a turnover of 1.5 crores, you're looking at 15 lakh rupee annual profit. Right, so I'll again say 200 students, average fee of 72,000, excluding GST. You're looking at 1.5 crore turnover, minus the expenses, about 15 lakh rupee annual profit is what we can easily achieve in this model. So at an investment of 25 lakhs, this makes it 18 to 21 months break even for you. Right, the classes are run at a auditorium, so which is a rented place. There's no investment in terms of setting up the auditorium, right? You can rent out an Audi as required, right? So I hope this is clear. On to next slide, please. Yes. So very important in terms of our ideal partner profile, we're definitely looking at two opportunities here. One is, so we look at this from two perspectives. One is your investment bandwidth, role in the business, and experience in this category. So any existing coaching center who may want to convert to a DBMCI coaching center, so that can happen. New entrepreneurs, who may want to get on this business as a single unit franchise, and larger investors who may want to look at this opportunity from a multi-unit or even a master franchise opportunity. So all the options are available here. Existing coaching centers who want to convert to become a DBMCI coaching center, new entrepreneurs for single unit, investors for multi-unit, or investors for a master franchise. Also, the options are available. Important aspect in this business would be your ability to connect with the student. So please understand, this is not a UG coaching, IIT coaching model. This is where we're working with doctors here who have already done their graduation part, and they're now looking for postgraduate entrance for postgraduate programs, right? So we're working with doctors in this category. So very, very important aspect to be able to connect with these students. These are experienced, you would have some experienced doctors also who have, after their graduation, are practicing and now looking at, getting into PG programs. So very important aspect is your ability to connect with these students, understand their timelines, and everything. Next, please. Okay, in terms of our support, and this comes from our experience of 25 years working with 150 centers, almost 95% franchised. So we help you with site selection. In the pre-opening phase, we help you with site selection, center setup, staff hiring and training, then launch marketing plan and execution. And we definitely help you with initial enrollment, right? In the post-opening phase, our absolute focus would be on maintaining leadership in terms of the content, which are very strong today, and we continue to work on it. So we always maintain the top content in the market, right? Ongoing training to your faculties, then central marketing and brand pull. This is what company would continue to do, and also back-end call center support for enrollments. So that is also a very important aspect. A lot of doctors call our centers, call our office, to understand what is the program, how they can enroll, what is the fee structure and all. So we'll bring in that support as well to cater to all such queries and then route them to your centers, right? So this is how we plan to support, and this is what we've been doing already. So we continue to work on this and offer the same support to you as well. Next, please. So over to, I think this should be our last part. Great reasons to partner with DBMCI. We of course saw the India opportunity in terms of some 167,000 students enrolling for PG programs. Appearing for PG programs. So they of course need training, coaching before they come to the exam, right? So that's the opportunity. The number continues to grow. There is a demand in the market, but there's no quality service provider. Of course, there are 4 or 5 players, but that's not sufficient. Given the numbers are growing, the government is also putting in a lot of effort in terms of increasing the seats for PG programs. So there is a growing opportunity here with more and more students appearing for such exams, right? but there's no quality service provider in the market today. So that's where excellent brand position, given the experience and expertise built over 25 years, presence with 150 centers, top content in the market, and we continue to grow. We definitely see an opportunity to get to 300 centers over next 3 to 5 years period, and that's where we're seeking your association with us. Franchisee benefits, all in all, you can leverage on our experience, brand pull. All doctors, graduate doctors who are looking to PG programs, they definitely visit our page, website, our programs, understand what DBMCI holds today in this category. So there is a very right. Apart from that, our presence across formats, our experience in terms of the content. So all that we bring to you to ensure a very successful venture with DBMCI. On the next, yes. So that should be all. Thank you very much for your time. I'd like to invite Nachiket sir to please take over. Sonia ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Anshul. Thank you, Nachiket, for coming in and presenting the opportunity to our investors. And friends, I will also request if you can put your questions in the Q&A box. Do mention your city so that we know what city you're looking for, and we'll take it up on your behalf. And I think this was a very elaborate presentation. We kind of covered the overall opportunity that we're offering to the market, and also the credibility of the company who has been operating for more than 2.5 decades in the market. And this is a big industry, friends. If you look at coaching overall, more than 30 million people in India take competitive exams every year, and they spend almost $5 million on preparation alone. And there's a big set of population for aspiring students which are taking entrance exams for JEE and NEET, which approximately is about 16 lakhs for NEET alone. And the enrollment, as we understand, starts for students as early as 8th standard, and sometimes even early. Dr. Bhatia is a leading name, and they are focusing on PG medical coaching. And they also have a big focus on coaching where they're demonstrating measurable results. And that is being witnessed from the I would say success that students have achieved from the last couple of years. So the model is both a conversion where somebody who already owns an existing center can also get converted. And we're also looking at new partnership, which is first time getting into business. So with two models, which is satellite and the face-to-face center. With an area requirement, satellite requires a bigger area of 3,000. And we need a smaller area for face-to-face center because we need an extra auditorium, which needs to be aligned along with the face-to-face center. And these classes don't happen at the center. So you only need the office space. And the overall investment is between 20 to 25 odd lakhs, which is required. So, Mr. Bhatia, I'll ask some questions, and which I did see, I think you did answer in the very first question, but just to give some clarity to our audience, we have talked about the satellite comparatively is a smaller model where we would have all virtual classes. We would not have students coming at the center. So we still need a bigger area in a satellite, and we need a smaller area for the F2F center. So if you can help us in understanding the infrastructure, which perhaps the satellite office or a center would require.
So basically, 3,000 square feet area, which you guys are defined. Now that includes a classroom where you have 50 odd seats with a projector, the screen onwards, and a small office to cater to the needs of the student. So that is a total requirement of a satellite center. Whereas in an F2F center, now that's a bigger ball game. So we have batches from 300 to 1,000 students. And our academic faculties come once there, and because they are very super specialized people, so consider them very, very specialized faculties. So we cater to a batch starting from 200 to 1,000. So we teach them all along. So there we advise that you should have a single office, which is your daily wage thing, your normal student Q&A things happen over there. That's your basically reception kind of area, and then we hire the auditoriums, the classroom, depending on the batch size. Okay. So it can fluctuate. So having a permanent classroom doesn't suffice much for us. So that is why 1,000 square feet of an office, and the classroom depends on your batch size.
Okay, I think that's very, very helpful. Now, getting a little bit detailed understanding of the unit economics of these models, while broadly we understand the investment it requires. And if I just to clarify, we've talked about investment of 20 and 25 lakhs in both these models. And there's also a fee component, which is a franchise fees of 5 and 15 lakhs respectively for satellite and franchise model for face-to-face. Is that something which is included in the overall investment, or this would be over and above?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah. Okay, so overall investment, we talked about 20 lakhs for a satellite and 25 lakhs for a face-to-face center. And over and above, there's a franchise fee component also, which we saw in the presentation. Now, is that franchise fee a part of the overall investment that we have talked about?
I think that is in your model. I think it is included in that satellite.
Right. So we have segregated. Okay,
yes,
while that is included,
segregated.
but we have segregated for our franchise partners.
Yes.
And Mr. Bhatia, now going in the unit economics, and we've talked about number of students for both these centers, starting with 132 for satellite and going to maybe, student base of 200 for a bigger. And you mentioned the space is not a constraint because you don't have a defined space, and depending on the size of the student base that we have, we can shift her to an auditorium and conduct these classes. Now, I'd like to take my first question, which is with respect to the students. Now, to create a base of 132 odd students, typically how long does it take? Because especially in a business like this, there's a season where you have a bigger number of students getting enrolled. So would you want to explain that to our audience? How does that happen? And typically, how long does it take for somebody to reach out to that number?
See, the biggest pro and con of our market is that our market is a very targeted market. Please do not confuse it with NEET UG, where the student base is spread across India. In our market, there is a medical college in your area, and that medical college in its 4 walls has everything that we need. So what we need is a very high participation from the center owner. That is the one requirement that you need. And it's a very personalized business. I mean, you need to go into that area, into that college, and create a relationship. If you manage to create that, let me tell you a few examples where some doctors took our franchise, and in the very first year, they managed to create almost a bunch of 200 students. Why? Because they were already in the college, they had already made that trust, and then they took our franchise. So that process expedited everything. And the moment we opened our center, we had 100 odd students on the very first day in the very first class. So that particular piece we have managed to segregate in all the processes that we know. That relationship building with the students is very, very important. And for that, what we generally do is advises that you go there, there's always a class representatives, and we ask our franchise owners to make a relationship with them. They are the ones who actually turn the college direction to your coaching center. Apart from that, the second thing that today we have the weapon is eGurukul. So eGurukul has the same faculties as our main thing. But with eGurukul, we give like a 7-day free trial to all the students, and we manage to get them hooked to our faculties. And then we ask them, okay, now you have seen the app version, now you come and see the classroom version. So this has also made our presence much better amongst the students. So these are the 2 things that you need if you want to create a good center. And I believe if the relationship is built, the center has a very good profit from the day one.
Now, going on the cost side also, we understand the biggest, the operating expense for any partner has to be the faculty, because that's what your asset is. So biggest expenses, the staff that we need to hire. Typically, what is the number of staff that we hire for face-to-face model? For a satellite, I understand all that is imparted online. So you as a parent would take care of all the faculties that are required in that particular, geography.
Faculties are totally taken. Faculties in all the models are taken care by us only. All the
Which
academic.
means even the hiring of the faculty at the local center.
Local centers do not hire the faculties. We send the faculties from Delhi.
From Delhi.
Yes.
So their lodging and all is something which is taken care by the prospective partner.
Lodging, boarding, flights, and everything is taken care by the partner. Everything is paid by the partner. The faculty cost is paid by the partner. What we do basically is we align the faculties with the partners. The partners cannot hire a faculty without approvals. Right. Yes.
And typically, what number of staff is required for a face-to-face center? And if you can also give us an understanding on the typical salaries for a center.
Basically, a center manager is basically required, which is like a 40,000 guy, but we
He can also be a franchise partner himself.
Yes. We advise that for the first 3 years, the franchise partner should be the
Correct.
center manager. Then we have two counselors on the center and around 4 sales guys.
Okay.
Yes,
And this is it. And then you have the faculty, which is teaching faculty.
that
And
is it.
how big is that faculty one needs at a full-fledged center?
Like 25 to 30 lakh rupees.
25 to 30 lakhs. And how many faculties would one need, because that would
90.
depend. All right. Great. Mr. Bhatia, I'll also pick, questions since we've talked about two models, satellite and also face-to-face. Are we also offering blended learning, or I would say hybrid programs through our existing centers?
Yes,
That's something that we are offering. And if yes, would that also have some impact on the overall fee that we have talked about, or the average fee that we have talked about? If we look at an hybrid program, do you think that fee would come down to a certain level?
Basically, that's an individualized concept we give depending on the market. But we do not advise them in the very start. It requires a lot of the market learning before you can actually put out this concept and make it profitable. So it is like a second year concept for the franchise.
Correct. All right. Now, understanding, the cities, because we already have a presence with more than 150 odd centers all across. And now between these two centers, and I'm sure you're sitting a lot of intelligence of data where the demand is coming from. So which are the cities for satellite, and what is the criteria for selecting these two different models and centers? And which would be the priority markets for these two cities for you to enter?
Basically, for F2F, the face-to-face centers, the first thing that we look for is flight connectivity. And at least 5 colleges in that area, 5 medical colleges in that area. A satellite center can be opened like 2 colleges. There's 2 colleges and more. A satellite center can be opened, but minimum 2 colleges are required over there to make the center profitable. Okay, but our profitability does not depend only on that center only. That is one thing that I'm trying to tell all the people over here. So our EdTech division also comes under you. So please take education as one thing. So in education, when you take over a center, any sale that happens for Bhatia, EdTech or offline, will be going through you only. Whether you are involved or not, we give you a certain percentage. So even if today, if any of our center is closed, they are earning a decent profit because of our EdTech division also. So we consider the market, earlier we used to consider the market as 20%, but now we consider the market as 100%. If 20% comes down to offline, the rest 80% opens up to EdTech. The franchisee partner also acts as a selling partner over there itself. So both the division comes under them only.
And, you also talked about a big role of a franchise partner, and you also mentioned some of your existing partners in the past were, I would say partners who came with the medical background, doctors taking a franchisee. So is that something which is mandatory, or you think that is a merit when somebody comes with some kind of related experience? And if not, what kind of training would you impart to a new guy who's getting into the business for the first time?
So basically, we have a 15-day rigorous training program for anybody who joins our company. It can be an employee, it can be a franchise partner, where we tell them each and everything what we are doing here, what is the requirement. Their team, the person they will be hiring, they will be going through a training program. So we have a very rigorous training program here, and we'll make sure the franchise knows everything that is required for our business. Being a doctor, the connect that I was talking about, that is just a little bit more plausible, because being a doctor and a doctor, that connect grows a little bit faster. But it isn't like that. We have franchise with over 22 years with us. They are reaching a turnover of 10 CR. For example, Bangalore, it's one of our biggest franchise. For the last 4 years, it is reaching 10 CR per year of turnover. But at the end of the day, they have a robust system because of 20 years of trust in everything. So in coaching industry, trust takes time to develop, but once it's developed, there are very few things that can break it off. So that is why you might be hearing, "Ye itne saalon se coaching chali aa rahi hai, aaj bhi bacche aate hain," because that is a simple trust that is there in the market, the word of mouth spreading. So that takes a little bit amount of time. Being a doctor, you can expedite that process a little bit more earlier. That's what I would say. But that's definitely not a compulsion thing. That's just a merit that if you have, you are more suitable.
Okay. Now talking about the radius also, because I understand, your centers would operate in certain geographies, and you mentioned about 5 colleges and 2 colleges for a satellite is something which is required for the captive audience to be around. Do we also give some kind of radius to a franchise partner? The distance is what I'm trying to discuss, from a center
Yes.
1 to a center 2.
Basically, we align a city to the partner.
Okay, so you only want one partner per city.
Exactly.
And that partner can look at also both. Is that also a possibility where the partner does both satellite and the face-to-face center?
Normally, we give both the provisions to the partner as well, because if you're opening a face-to-face center, we give, for example, a missed class support in the form of satellite. Okay, so we run the classes, and the partner can call people and show them those classes if they have missed the face-to-face class. That is a
Right.
provision that we give.
Right.
So F2F gives that kind of possibility, but in the satellite area, F2F is a different kind of expense itself. It's a different business model altogether.
Right.
So satellite cannot accommodate F2F.
Okay, now you said, one partner per city. So if in one city we have a face-to-face partner, will we also accommodate another partner opening a satellite in a different geography? No.
No.
So one city would either have F2F or they would have satellite. Is that right?
Exactly.
Right. So Mr. Bhatia, I just wanted to understand, what cities do you think are in your rollout which are ripe for satellite? Which cities would be the priority cities, I would say, for face-to-face centers?
So basically, for face-to-face, currently we have openings in Ranchi, Raipur, Bhubaneswar, Guwahati, Patna. All right. So these are the areas there where we can open a face-to-face center, and I believe it's going to be a big hit. Okay. In satellite, small cities basically. Even if I talk about Karnataka, we have many areas where there are two, 3 medical colleges. There it can be open. For example, Raichur. For example, Mysore, Raichur. I mean, there are 8 cities. I'll just give you a list so that
Sure.
you can put it out. But there are many cities where satellite centers with 2 to 3 medical colleges. If anybody does a little bit of market research, they can identify these colleges, and we can open a satellite center over there.
Sure. So what I'm understanding is for face-to-face centers, I think Central India, East India is a very big potential and very big market. That's where we will look at. And, how about, cities which are maybe as big as maybe Kolkata, or are we looking at tier 1 cities also like Delhi, Bangalore?
Have already opened centers over there.
So we'll not look at more partners. So our focus is primarily tier 2 for both these models.
Not tier 2. Basically, our target right now is the places where we do not have a center.
Sure.
So like many metropolitan cities, we already have a center. Guwahati, Raipur, Ranchi, these are the metropolitan cities where we do not have a center, because come on, these are tier 2, but they are branching out to be metropolitans very soon. These are the areas where we do not have a center. Patna, Patna has 6 medical colleges and a great place to open a center.
Yes.
So if we have somebody over there, he's looking for profit from the day 1 itself.
And you also mentioned about the master franchisee. So which regions would these be for a master franchise? Are we looking for some partnership at a bigger level too?
Master franchise right now we are not looking, but if it's a possibility, we are open to it.
But only in these locations itself, because somebody comes and becomes partner for a state.
Master franchise basically we are looking for is in the edtech sector.
Only in the edtech sector.
Yes.
All right. And that would not be the current model. That's interesting. And you also mentioned, and now I understand, because we have only one partner per city, and we have taken an average of 132 cities, 132 students for satellite, and about 200 plus for a face-to-face. And since the entire city is the potential that we're looking at, the numbers, these are numbers that we've taken on a pessimistic note, or this is something which ideally one should be able to reach in the very first year. And based on your own experience of running these centers, all across, what is the average number of students these two formats can hold? Because we understand throughput is not an issue. Virtual classes can hold as many students, and similarly, the other center also, one can hire an auditorium and extend your capacity. So your comments, Mr. Bhatia?
Basically, it's an average out number. It's an average out number. I won't say that it's on the lower side or anything, but it's an average out number, and it's a decent thing which can be achieved. I think the whole thing that depends, which I'm going to repeat again, is that personalized involvement of the franchise owner. Many a times that we have seen one of our franchise being flopped is that if the franchise owner treats it like a normal franchise, that we are not selling a product, it's a proper service. And if you sell it like an ice cream, it is not going to sell here. You have to reach out, you have to make a relationship with the students. Only then this product is going to succeed. And if you are able to do that, it's just a one-time job. You are able to see a profit for the next 10 years very, very easily.
Right. So I understand the main responsibility with the partner is to acquire the students for the center. And second is fulfillment. And fulfillment means the experience they give to the students which are there at the center. And faculty is something which is entirely taken care by the company. And the company also helps in the initial launch and marketing when a center is launched, right? And Mr. Bhatia, what kind of support do we give at the time of launch? Is it some kind of shows that we do, or we go to these universities? What kind of events are there? Any events that we
Basically,
hold?
an event is not required. We give them a digital presence. Second, we
Okay.
give them a 7-day free trial of our eGurukul app, which all the costing is comes to the company, and all they need to do is they need to get in touch with the students and ask them to download and utilize the app. So all that streaming cost is taken care by the company as well. Only support by the center is that they need to give us an outreach to the students. Second, many a times when the center opens, we give them a full-time consultation from here itself, and if possible, we'll also send a person from here to help them in the starting of a launch and marketing. Third thing, in HR hiring, we give them their support by consultation and more things. So all the areas where the franchise needs help or requires anything, we actually stand with them.
Okay, and how long is the term of agreement with our partners for both these formats? And also, if somebody would want to renew, and you mentioned you have partners who have been
Yes.
as old as 22 years, working and collaborating with you. So what is the typical term, and how does one extend or renew after their term has come to an end?
So basically, we have like a 3 to 5 years contract, and there the first right of refusal, if things are going well, goes to the partner before we move on forward. So we give them that kind of security.
Okay, so 3 would mean for a satellite, and 5 is for your face-to-face center.
Yes.
All right, that's helpful. And a couple of markets which I'll ask, Bangalore is open, Karnataka is open. I see these markets. AP, we didn't talk about, but is that open? AP as a market, Mr. Bhatia?
No, we are fully booked in AP Telangana.
Okay. And this is a franchisee and franchisee operated model. We're not looking for any FOCO model, but because it requires experience at the center and the efficiencies would only come if you have a partner which is operating. We don't need pure investors in the business.
Exactly.
We need operators to be a part of the day-to-day operations. So very helpful, Mr. Bhatia. I think we've covered some of the important questions, and East we understand is a very potential market. And I will also request if we can set up maybe one of the dates in the coming week where we can bring some prospective partners on a call with you, which can be over a Zoom or maybe a telephonic call, which we can do to have maybe elaborate discussion with respect to the business model and also filtration of these profiles, which I feel is very, very important because of your vast experience and also legacy of the last 26 odd years you've been in the business. We'll have a lot of focus on the profile of people. So friends, it is 14th of August, which I see Archana has shared. That's the discovery day that we are planning with Mr. Bhatia. So you can reach out on the hotline number of Franchiseindia or also email to us. And before we close, Mr. Bhatia, I'll request if you have a message for the audience, which is listening both live as well as on the webinar today.
Thank you, Sonia, for the great thing. I had a real nice time. And the best thing that I'm telling you about our business is that it gives you a satisfaction of working for something better. Because when the students comes to you with a success letter, trust me, that feeling is a complete holistic next level thing. And of course, there's a trust built among the students where they see you as a leader, as a center owner. And it is not just me they're going to respect, they're going to respect you as a person who has changed their lives. Because yes, we are working for something which is literally going to make the students' life better. They are going to be a better doctor, they're going to work better for you. And of course, when they do, when you have so much good students around you, that purpose in life, that satisfaction is always very overwhelming. So I believe that it is not just about the revenue here, which I'm guaranteeing you that if you do the 2-year thing properly for the next 10 years, you will be getting a very decent revenue. That is why we have been able to sustain 20 years of franchise. That's the sole reason, because we believe in trust, we believe in maintaining integrity and making the franchise secure in every small purpose of our company. And if something is happening in that area, it will be going through you only. So that is the trust that we have given to our faculty, to our franchise. And of course, that overwhelming respect and love from the students, that makes the business a fully business of satisfaction. So I think
Absolutely.
that's me. Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you, Archana. Thank you, Anshul.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bhatia, for being with us. I'd like to thank all our audience also who was there at the webinar. And as I mentioned, we have a one-to-one discussion that we're holding on 14th of August. Reach out on the
Just,
hotline
Sonia,
number.
let me answer this, Sarat Babu Ji. So our Bangalore and AP market, Saratji, is the biggest market of ours. Okay. Like, and we help in admission of the students. Yes, we do help in admission of your students. Our digital marketing presence from the central market goes to you directly, where we generate leads for you, we do the telecalling for you, and we get the admissions done for you. But that's a complement model. We expect you to have your own team as well, and we work in tandem with you. It is not the single model only. And how many students come from Andhra Pradesh? This year we made a batch of 2,500 students in Hyderabad alone. So
That's quite a big number.
Yes, so considering the market, we had 2,500. Our nearest opponent only had 1,000. So we have tilted the market totally in Hyderabad itself.
Great. I think that's a big market share, against 1,000, which is your closest competitor.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Bhatia, for achieving what you have, and also on your successful partnership model where you bring only one partner per city and you commit to make him successful in what he does. But equally, we want partners who are passionate and who put their own time and effort in making it a big success, because at the end of the day, we are talking about and handling careers of aspirants which are making who are important in the making of what India is today. So thank you so much, Mr. Bhatia. And I will also request Ashna kindly take it up for your final closing remarks.
So thank you so much, Nachiket Bhatia, for joining in today. We would like to thanks Kimi also for all the preparation for this particular webinar. Thank you, Anshul. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for sparing time talking about this industry as well as about the business opportunity. Dear friends, thank you for registration, attending this webinar. Do reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 97176838838. We request you to save this number in your phone book so that you get a regular updates from our side. Also share your suggestion, feedback on all the business opportunities we have given to you about our webinars. Connect with us at our different social handles. We are available at Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter. You want a guidance from Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, you can get so by joining them at the LinkedIn IDs. Information we have just shared on your screen. And as we always say, we are there to help you with the maximum business opportunities. We wish you to join us for our Bharat Franchise Show. This is the biggest franchise show ever organized by any of the company. We invite you to join us for our East India show, which will start at 7 p.m. We have invited brands like GeoBP, Mr. Jeff, and many other brands. The brand founders, director would come and talk about the great opportunity they have in hand. So do registration right now, either at the business hotline number or at the Facebook page where we have shared the registration link. And tomorrow under our 12 p.m. webinar show, we are again inviting you to a big retail opportunity. Zimivog is the brand we are bringing for you. They are into fast fashion vertical. They are already operational with 66 plus stores. The CEO and the MD of this company would come and talk about this great opportunity. So do registration right now. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a very safe day. Thank you so much.